Good afternoon. Hope you're all well. Just get the YouTube channel up and please just say a quick hello and let me know if the levels are okay. You can see and hear everything. More fun and games from Man United. Hope you left them well alone. But both teams to score was a good call from my old pal, Mr. AI. So let me just get the live up and we can get going. So let's see if it's all working okay. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. Everything okay, Stephen? You can hear me okay and you can see the screen. So hope everything's fine. I'll just get up and running. So we just clear this out a bit. So I'm going to do my football 24 just to get some alerts coming in. Got to make sure that we know the scores. So work our way down. And we can listen out for any goals from the Bundesliga as we move on. So that's Belgium. This makes sure that we're only focusing on leagues that could give us a trade. Depends who's playing in Cyprus. We know some of the teams from the Champions League, like Paphos, they could be a good trade. Danish Super League, English Championship, Premier League, League One and League Two. We'll leave all the rest alone. I think there's the FA Cup today. I'm not sure that will be liquid enough or there's enough big names there. Premier League Two, probably not going to be researching or playing that one today. Finnish Viscountliga, French League 1, League 2. Our old friends in Germany. There's a goal come in. That's Hillerod and Horsens. So Eredivisie is the division. Don't forget it's Champions League week upcoming. So the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, all involved in the Champions League. So if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be today, and it's probably going to be from an away side. Surely Liverpool won't be cooking it up, will they, against unbeaten Crystal Palace? We'll have to find out. So the Champions League, we're going to see one or two strugglers today. It's just a matter of trying to suss out which of the big guns at short odds is going to cock it up. So we're down to the Primera Liga, Segunda League. No goals yet in Germany. I think I've picked out the German matches. No, I will do so now. So we can be alerted. There's some good German teams for goals before half time. Serie A, Como should be very strong favourite today against newly promoted Cremonese, that's for sure. Cesc Fabregas' side, rock solid at home. Hope you're all okay on YouTube. You just missed it. Unlucky, Michael. So just going to get the Germans up so I can hear any goals coming in. So Champions League for Dortmund. Not so for Leipzig on this occasion. Bayer Leverkusen Champions League. St. Pauli 3-3 at home to Dortmund. So that could be fun. Heidenheim and Augsburg, touch of the old relegation 6-pointer-ishness about that one. And those are our ones at the moment. So it's the Leverkusen match. You'd probably be expecting goals before half-time. And Como have already scored against Cremonese. So that's basically. That's what we're expecting today. But they are a very reliable side under Cesc Fabregas. If they ever get themselves into a spot of bother, they tend to get themselves out of jail. Well, Venezia have already punished Spezia. Absolutely no value to be had there. But we might have some value here. If you look at the 2.45 favourite leading 3-0 so early, it's worth a punt. Why on earth was it 2.45 the favourite? They weren't expected to be this solid. We've got 0.97 expected goals for Mantova, so they're putting together the odd chance or two, but clearly Frosinone are outperforming themselves. But for me, it's so early and the odds will be so short that we've got nothing to worry about. So let's have a look at this one. 105. Help yourself. Just a little tickle up to something like that. And if you fancied it, I tend to do just a small 50p or something. Then we've got a goal for Leipzig against Wolfsburg. That's not a surprise. So that would be my entry point here. Look at it, 34 minutes. We get a goal from Mantova before half-time. That's going to change hugely. 1-3 is a lot closer, of course. There's only 2-goal difference, and that's more realistic to overcome. So very low liability, well worth a go. As I say, 0.99 expected goals. That's not too shabby. We simply write it off, don't we? We're just going to write it off. If it comes good, we hear some dings, then excellent. But I'm not going to be crying over £3.50. Just going to wait and see. I like the XG, and we'll see if that can convert into at least a goal early enough to get the market to move. The Allsvenskan might be worthy of our attention today, but we do have the big boys, so we can be choosy. And these Saturdays, to be honest, the last 2 weeks, they've been difficult. You've got too much choice. I've been making all my money from Mondays to Fridays, to be honest. It's less of an avalanche of matches, and you've got a clearer indication. So that's something to think about today. Just take it a bit easy rather than spread all of my money on things like League One and League Two. So that's how it looks at the moment. These are our matches of interest. You can see KUPS absolutely bossing in the championship group. In Finland, Stade Laval, we're just waiting for that equaliser. Well, the reason I passed it on to you, I liked this look here, but this is very risky because it's 2.25 the favourite. That means it's not a strong favourite at all. Not expected to win or win comfortably. This is where I was hoping that goal would come, between there and there. You can see now Montpellier's momentum is just starting to move upwards. So that's a pity. It's gone a little quiet since the 66th minute, and you can see the away side have got the latest shots on target. So I did warn you, it's a very, very risky one, this one. But as it remains 0-1, we are still in the match. Hillerod and Horsens. You can see the 1.74 expected goals for Horsens, can't you? They've scored one. 2.15 away favourite, 82nd minute. This could be one for a late lay the draw, particularly if we see the brown above the blue. That will mean the away side are picking up momentum. They've just dropped down a bit, but that's good. That's indicative of some attacking sense. Last shot on target, 78th minute, nice and recent. No, sorry, 70th minute. Shots off target as well. 3 of them second half. Got a bit quiet on those in the last corner quite a while ago. So one to play perhaps late on if they can convert that into the 2 expected goals. Moving on down as the Germans get going. Got a red card already. Portimonense have taken advantage, but interesting odds if these are accurate. Not suggestive that they're going to go on and win. So that is interesting. Suspiciously big odds for a side leading against 10. Elfsborg, evens favourites. I've been keeping an eye on this one, but they're 0-2 down. It's always a good entry point, particularly at half-time when you've had the half-time team talk for the second half. Good entry point, isn't it? Low, 1.25, a high of about 10s. But you can quite clearly see the problem. 6 shots off target, and that's it. But that's got my eye as well. I might just keep an eye on the Elf. Could be one for the second half. So let's take a look at that. That's about right, isn't it, for an underdog leading 2-0 on or around half time. Sorry, sounding a bit like Bonnie Tyler at the moment, so I'll just have some drink. So I will probably play this beginning in the second half without any insurance. Because what we'll have is the advantage of the halftime team talk then. And a reminder that the Elf are at home. So hopefully that will give them a bit of a booster. Thank you, Michael. Michael's a bit worried about the Elf. The opponent is better away. Indeed, Michael. And you can see it by the in-play stats as well, can't you? But I do like a 2-0 entry point, Michael. And we've got an evens home favourite. So why are they evens? You can quite clearly see the poor form Michael's talking about, losing to all sorts. But that has to have a context, really. And the context is the challenge table. Might give you an idea of where they're losing and where their opponent is in relation to them. So we can have a quick look at that while our German friends remain very quiet indeed. I've got to go through all this rigmarole now, all these hurdles. So it's the 0-2 lead. Just take a look at the challenge table. That's the only thing we need to really look at, just to determine their recent defeats, who they've been losing to. So we work our way down. We find the challenge table here, and you can see 8th against 2nd from bottom. So that puts the recent defeats into context, Michael, doesn't it? Vast majority, I would suspect, occurring away from home. Only 3 home defeats, but those are slightly worrying against 13th and 14th. But against the bottom 3, yet to play the bottom 2. Did score 2 against Varnamo, but only a 1-0 win against Degerfors last time. Degerfors against the top 8, well, you can quite clearly see they tend to concede 2+ goals. So the challenge table is very important. You don't just look at their recent defeats. They need to have that context. 2 of them coming away from home. Malmo and Halmstad. Well, Malmo are up here. Halmstad is a bit more worrying because they're nearer to Degerfors. So you're quite right, Michael. It's not the best form on the planet, isn't it? So the in-play stats will be vital, and they're not showing anything either. So there's no need to rush into this. Just hoping that some half-time oranges, Lucozade, bit of deep heat, and a cigarette, just like we did in the Sunday League, and a can of beer as well at half-time. That should suit the Elf down to the ground. Totally unreadable. Bayer Leverkusen, don't forget that I think St. Pauli are going to score today. They got that 3-3. Very excited. Good at home as well. 2-1 win against Augsburg. Bayer Leverkusen are up and down, as befits a new manager, but you can quite clearly see the both teams to score element here. And a collector's item. Last match, a 0-0 at half-time. That is not Bayer Leverkusen. We have a goal coming in. That's Slovako and Karvina. I don't think that's of interest to us, so we can say ta-ra to that one. We can say goodbye to Sparta Prague as well. Absolutely bossing this already. And we've already got that lead for Portimonense, but we did see relatively big odds for Portimonense. So I would be a little interested in this one because we've got a whole second half to go. And Frosinone, we do not need any more from them. They're absolutely getting involved with that. And my £3.50 I'll never see again, alas. That's why we get involved at 0-3. But you can see my logic. If they can convert the expected goals into a goal, then we are up and running. You can see the momentum switch to Mantova. But done. Well, you've got a wonderful entry point for the second half, but they don't have a record of scoring 4 goals, Mantova. You can quite clearly see. So it was worth it at 0-3. Low odds entry point. Really good return. So let's work our way down. 3 o'clock is where it starts getting busy. So while it's quiet, I'm just going to prepare my odds-on favourites, particularly in these lower leagues. And you'll find at footballtradingprofits.com in the AI section, I've researched a few, or AI has a few of these odds on favourites. So that could be of interest. But don't forget, there's still some mistakes with AI, mostly around the expected goals. Had the likes of Burnley on 6.5 expected goals, apparently. So that surprised me. I'm trying to get it to learn to pick out expected goals ratio from last year and from this year, but they haven't quite grasped it yet. But I'm getting there slowly. But the research, I think, is excellent. I can just fire these out very quickly. We do have angles in, we've got injuries, etc. So you should have the research for Reed against Grazza at the AII. So if Grazza take the lead, you can have a quick look where Reed, or do Reed look like odds on favourites. You can have a quick look that way. So that's going to get a tick or a star today. Club Brugge, Champions League, 5-5. We had a brilliant time with that 5-5. Wow, man. It's made a profit. Units in Gilwa, Champions League. So Club Brugge would be the ones to target, the side away from home in the Champions League and coming up in the Champions League. A la Liverpool a bit later on against unbeaten Crystal Palace. Rijeka last night, I did Vrazden. Just a marginal profit, but it's a good profit all the time. Anyway, it's all adds up. It added up to an £84 profit yesterday. I wasn't even making an effort. Watching a film in the background, so you can see the power of it. Elsewhere, 1.65 Sparta Prague already leading quite clearly. That's what we want to see of these odds on favourites. Or rather, as a trader, we want to see Ostrava 2-0 up. Sonder and Copenhagen pre-match Champions League. Sonder and Copenhagen pre-match Champions League, and I would be very, very cautious if Sonder score first. We're going to have team news because El Nesri does tend to get rested pre-Champions League. And you can see again. Oh no, Elyounoussi, he's actually playing. So has the manager learnt his lesson? Because they keep cocking it up. This was in the Super League against the same. Oh no, that's Sonder. Champions League, lost to Brøndby. Champions League, conceded the first goal against Odense, didn't win. Champions League, I think they conceded first, came back and won that one. Aarhus, caught with their pants down in the first half, resting Elyounoussi. This is why it's so important for you to know that it's upcoming Champions League football. Because on paper, they're rock solid, FC Copenhagen. But we start doubting if Sonder starts scoring, which Copenhagen turns up. Quite clearly, they're not a huge club, and this is really impacting them, isn't it? Any other odds on? Not really. And looking in the Premier League, Champions League sides, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Spuds, Ange Postecoglou. But we'll go, to be honest, shouldn't he? Elsewhere, Ipswich, very strong favourites today. And Stoke, the only odds-on favourites there. Main focus. Of course, if the in-play stats are superb, or if there's a red card, then a change complexion in play. Odds-on favourite, Interturku later on been an excellent side this season. But this is now the Championship group, so they're not playing any old mugs. 3 favs in French Ligue 1, 2 of them in the Champions League. Laval, still a 0-1. If we get a 0-2, I'm going to be filling up that swear jar. Saint-Etienne have been pretty solid. A newly relegated side in French Ligue 2 and dominating the league. That's what we want to see. Been really good trading. I thought I heard a goal coming in. No. And it's very quiet in the Bundesliga. And you can see it's a difficult enough coupon today, isn't it? We've got Champions League Dortmund, Champions League Frankfurt, Champions League by Leverkusen. So we're not potentially going to get the usual patterns we'd see on a normal match day weekend. But St. Pauli and Bayer Leverkusen, if that ends 0-0, I'll give up the ghost. Surely we'll see a goal in this one. And for both teams, I would suggest as well. Dortmund are the nearest we've got to odds-on favourite, but they are pre-Champions League and away from home. That's always a concern. Greek Super League, Champions League Olympiakos at home to Levadiakos. Aris Thessalonica odds-on. St. Pat's look like bankers today. They were very solid last match as well. Since they've got rid of Europe, they're looking pretty good. Champions League Juve and Champions League Atalanta in a derby-style match. Is this going to be the humdinger like the 4-3 against Inter Milan was? Because that was a banger. Inter Milan, this has potential banana skin written all over it. New manager, away from home, pre-Champions League against a Cagliari who could pack that defence. So that's going to be one to potentially target. Monza, odds-on against Padova. Odds-on, Südtirol doing the job. That's why we target the odds-ons. We want to see them doing the job, but we want to be there in case they cock it up. Champions League, PSV, Champions League, Ajax. Again, potentially targetable away from home, PSV Eindhoven. And I would encourage you to lay any of this lot if they get to odds of 1.1 or lower. That would mean they're probably leading 1 or 2-0. They could slip up. Team changes, anything like that. They might even have team changes at the start, which will knock the dynamic off. Willemsveit, odds on. Sarpsborg and Viking, odds on. And we'll talk about I've got a nice little strategy with these 2.5 goal teams, and you'll see the patterns a bit later on. 1.6 and lower odds for over 2.5 goals at Odds Checker. I'm recording the results, recording the timings of the goals, because I want a bet and go strategy. So I'm trying to look for one of them. PS Glavice, odds on. No goals yet for our German pals. Had a bit too much bratwurst for lunch. Odds on Santa Clara, Champions League, Sporting, Lisbon. Benfica just crossing the line yesterday with a 2-1 win for the special one. No, didn't see it there. We've got red carded Academico Visau, so no great interest with that. Corona Kielce and Lechia Gdansk 2-0 lead. Don't think I'll be interested in that one. So we're nearly done with our odds-ons. SPL has been a tradable league, I must. So I'm quite happy to look at these odds-on favourites today. Particularly Hearts. Hearts at odds-on last season were impeccable. Celtic, well, if you're going to be backing Celtic, you're the kind of person who will be backing Man United. So there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. Not in their current form. But we will see. They were good in the Cup midweek. A couple of odds on the Championship. Won't go any lower. And it's a humdinger. 2 Champions League sides and a local derby. Champions League Villarreal as well. No, Champions League. Yeah, they're both. Villarreal, Atletico Bilbao, both in the Champions League. So that's, again, probably one to cross off your list of matches to trade. And there's that goal before half-time. I told you it was going to come, and I would retire if that match ended 0-0. As I said, goals before half-time. So if you've got a strategy of your own, you want to wait 20 minutes, off you go. Their only aberration was last week. You're going to get your money back over the course of a season in Leverkusen matches. They could be labelled today because St. Pauli scored 3 against Dortmund. Racing Santander have been consistent odds-on favourites in La Liga too, so they might be worth looking. There we go. That's why I do the odds-ons. You've got that would be alerted now. 0-2. We'd do some investigation. We'd see they were in pretty poor form. They haven't played 2 of the bottom 3 at home. Only got a 1-0 win last time these two met, and they need 2 goals today. Not the strongest, are they? Hacken odds on. Lugano, Servette, and in the Super League, probably not going to see the Champions League sides out today. Galatasaray were out yesterday. So now we've got an odds-on favourite list ready for the 3 o'clocks. That's going to be waiting for me here. So we've got Sleza Varazdin I played earlier on. So it's all ready. Coventry, that's all down to the red card. And there we go, odds on Man United under 21s. And another win for Marseille, pre-Champions League Marseille. That's a win against Paris Saint-Germain and Strasbourg. They're in a fine bit of form. They are pre-Champions League as well, so they'll be delighted with that. This is all from last night. Saint-Etienne, I do fancy. We've got 2 goals from Dortmund now, so the goals are popping in. VAR on the Bayer Leverkusen. Do Dortmund have that second? No. So the goals are popping in Germany. I don't really have any strong plays pre-half-time unless it's Leverkusen, for example, or Werder Bremen tend to be another very good one. So I hope you're all okay over on YouTube. It's everything's working all right. I've just refreshed it a bit. So just waiting for the 3 o'clock avalanche. So we'll just have a look through some of these matches. I don't see any late the draw. Getafe Levante. You can see the momentum is very stagnant centrally. So we'll, as soon as I get rid of this, of course, the goal will come in. Laval is going to be, there we go. That's what kept me interested. They have shown enough during this match to suggest a goal, but no. That's when I got involved, when you've got this big blue momentum here, but then it dies. And this is a French Ligue 2. Is playing these type of sides you don't really know that well, and you're having to take an in-play stats punt. But hopefully I'm getting away with it. We can head off to the match. Laval. No. Is it over? Montauban. Well, I don't know. Where's Laval gone? Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World. No, I didn't record them there. So that's a mystery. Am I spelling it correct? Yeah, Montpellier and Laval. Match must be well over. Not yet. Yes, it is over. Okay. So 0-1. That's why I can't find the match, and I've got my money back. That's a break even. And a break even for me is as good as a winning trade because you're involved until the death. A late goal, and we're up and running. So there it is. That's confirmation. Ends 0-1. That's why I do insurance. I break even there, get all of my stake back, and I'm involved for the whole 90 plus minutes with the chance of an equaliser. Corona Kielce 1.85, so I'm not going to get involved with that. 2.55 the favourite. Well, it's up to you if you want to play. Still, you can have a 1.01 lay. Why is it 2.45 the favourite is what you're going to be asking yourself. And you can take a punt that's an unexpected scoreline, isn't it? Maybe 2 of the goals look a bit lucky because it's 2.39 XG. But up to you if you want to lay 1.01. It's going to cost you nothing to find out. Maximum upside. That one's a difficult one as well, isn't it? 2.8 the favourite. So you'll make more money if you stick with short-priced odds on favourites. I know it's very boring, but if you can consistently back them at over evens, 2.5 plus, and they deliver as 1.5 and low favourites deliver, you're going to be making some good returns. You're going to see the strike rates far better with these shorties. When you get to 1 point, it's going to be a little more difficult. 1.33 leading against 10 men. So we've come to a conclusion here that the Elf's recent form is not really worthy of our Wigan Wolf, St. Pauli and Leverkusen. Again, just that inkling that Leverkusen might be conceding at some point. So let's have a look. Is it going to be the next goal though? That's the thing. You could, if you fancied it, be heading off towards a 2-2 or a 3-3, but not quite with that type of a market. We're not going to be doing that. That's the reason. Damn. Oh, told you both teams to score, but I didn't profit from it. And I was going to look at the 2-2 and the 3-3 just there because that covers the next team to score. But as you can see, while I'm looking, the goal has arrived. That is a real pity. And then I was going to be looking at something like the 4.5 goal market, 3.5 goal market as a neutral play. Again, covering the next team to score. Not sure who would score the next goal. I think you'd have got decent odds at that 0-1. All the way up to 5.5. Wow. So pity. I called that one well, but as you can see, I've just got there at the wrong time. Had I been earlier, hopefully come up with some decent conclusions that we could get something out of. Don't forget, pre-Champions League, away from home, target on their backs. So let's have a look through. We've got goals coming in. But this will tell you whether it's a goal in an odds-on favourite match or not. That's an odds-on favourite match or not. That's the only real interest in these lower tiers for me. And this gives me an auditory alert that I can cruise. That looks like. Does it? MK Don's favourite today? Don't look like they're on the list. That doesn't look like a shock result. So let's have our first look through and just do a bit of tidying up. Get rid of some of this peripheral stuff. Ayup Sport, Turkish Yorkshireman against Göztepe. No strong opinion. Oh, goals are popping in. Gaziantepspor against Samsun Sport. So this will tell you whether we get an odds-on favourite goal coming in. So we can check out Air and Airdrieonians at some point, but just I might be interested in keeping an eye on that one. There's the Gaziantepspor match, 2.6 the favourites, so no immediate interest. So we'll just clear out a bit of this while the goals aren't coming in. And we're getting to the Madrid derby, which I would be favouring Real Madrid here as the form side. Atletico Madrid are all over the shop. Really this season, they've been appalling. Profit though in the last match, so happy with that. As we know, it's predominantly odds-on favourite SPL, so they're going to be on my watch list today. It has been a reliable league so far this season, so I'm keen to monitor the SPL matches. And you civil service strollers fans, they're odds-on favourite today. Ross County, newly relegated, might be worth following. The side who were was worth following, St Johnstone. You can see they're a newly relegated side, loving the lower tier. Really good trading side as well, St Johnstone. Been coming from behind, getting all sorts of wins. See against Dunfermline, coming from behind to get the win there. Coming from behind against Morton to get the equaliser. So it's all pretty decent stuff from St Johnstone. Hopefully it'll be liquid enough, but you can see £1,100 matched. We're not expecting to be able to get anything matched, but newly relegated sides for me are excellent to follow, particularly when they're doing what Lillestrøm and St Johnstone are doing and dominating the lower tier. I'll just clear out a bit of this as well. And I'll be alerted whenever the goals are popping in. Like this. Needham, and I don't need any of that stuff, mate. Needham. I won't be trading Needham today. That's why I left the cup in, but it's all lower tier teams. Some familiar names, I suppose. But we can get rid of the vast majority of these cup matches. You can't trade them, so no point me being alerted to any of these at all. So we've got Mansfield and Rotherham. One of these two is an odds-on favourite. So you can check immediately, see if there's a potential trade. Pre-match favourites, pre-match 1.86. I've gone a goal down. Next step, which league is it? League One, Mansfield and Rotherham. Okay. League One, Mansfield and Rotherham. So we're heading down to England. League One, Mansfield and Rotherham. So where are you? Mansfield and Rotherham. So we've got to keep an eye out on Mansfield. We want to see, A, are they playing like odds-on favourites? B, are they reacting well to going a goal down? You can see it there. Well, that's lukewarm, but they were odds-on. And that's what I'm base my odds on is Soccer 24. So Rotherham, Mansfield, potential. We can have a look here as well. SJK have scored first against FC Inter. I quite fancy, sorry, not FC Inter, I quite fancy Inter Turku, but this for me is a touch of a derby style match about it. They're two sharp sides in the Veikkausliiga, but again, monitor the in-play stats to see whether Inter will react immediately or not. So I'll head off down to Finland, and it's not going to be a priority at all, this match. One, it's lacking liquidity. Two, it's the top half of the table playing each other. So they're no mugs. We'll just wait, see how it develops. So I hope you're all okay over on YouTube as we're waiting for goals to come in. I'll have to leave a few matches down here so I can work this. So first look at our odds-ons. You can see the goals are coming in. And a bit later on for Belgium, Raika beginning, and I can be alerted. And here we go. This is our first conundrum of the day. An away side in the Champions League, a goal down to an unbeaten home side. I could watch the match, but I'll get told off. There is a website called camel1.live, which has, for me, had some excellent coverage, but I do use an ad blocker. So that's important. Now, this is a bit of a conundrum. Do we get involved straight away, knowing that Liverpool's pattern this season? Do we cover the 0-2? What do you think? Pre-Champions League away from home. You can check out the type of goal. If it was fair enough, if it was a goal from open play, an own goal or something. But Ismail Sarr, no, job done. We can have a look at the odds now. So this is a very tricky one. Do we trust Liverpool pre-Champions League? They haven't cocked up yet, obviously. They've had all of those wins, but they are riding their luck quite a lot. But let's see how the market looks. So we get to the Liverpool match. Yes, if you are to play and you lose, then you'll know it's the Champions League element. On a normal weekend, you would suggest Liverpool would be pretty decent for the equaliser, wouldn't they? Have a look at the team as well for Liverpool. Have they rested any of the big three up front? Laying over 1.5 goals, 108. I might as well do that, just in case we get a 1-0 for a while, pre-Champions League. Palace have been very tight, haven't they, as well? Had a few draws. So that's going to cost £3.20. If we get a goal, so what? +1. What's that looking like for Liverpool? They are away from home, so it's going to be bigger odds than usual. 1.8? No, 1.6. So still very strong favourites. That tells a story. For example, Laval earlier on, 2.42 for the +1. compare it to that. You can see the difference. Match odds would be where I'm headed, because you're getting decent odds and you're getting a decent low odds lay. But normally you get a much more accomplished move up when you've conceded a goal. It's very tight, isn't it? 1.9 to 2.9. The only value you're getting really is a shorter lay of Crystal Palace after only 12 minutes. So I might be interested in that one. Eric Sport, Bristol Rovers and Salford. We just keep an eye on the odds-ons, particularly in these lower leagues. So the Liverpool match, anyone got any interest in that one? Just have a look at the team as well. Just work my way down. Man City opening up against Burnley. So has there been any slight changes? Isak playing up front, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Salah. It is the first 11, isn't it? Maybe Bradley and Kirkes. That's the peripheral players. Robinson rested. Robinson rested. Jones, Gakpo can be a first. He's normally a sub Chiesa. So it's a very, very strong Liverpool side. So let's see. 0-2. Sorry, both teams to score. I'm trying to get both teams to score. I think my internet's gone. So I'm going to be backing both teams to score no. To win and hope. I know you're not getting much value, but you've got to take what's on offer. This is to cover the 1-0, cover the 2-0, cover any 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Really to cover that 2-0. You can, if you want, cover the 2-1, because that can't be covered by any other insurance. And you can see that's not going to cost you too much. So if we are unlucky today and we lose 3-0, we lose 3-1, for example, well, I'll just have to take the hit. I'm not expecting Liverpool to be conceding 3 goals today. But anything can happen pre-Champions League. So I've got 2-0 covered. I've got 1-0 covered. I've got 2-1 covered. I can go straight now into the match odds. I've got a bit sick and tired of all of these 0-2s late on. They've just been wearing me down a bit. So this has to be split because it's a £40 stake. So I'm dividing it by 2. And I'm going to be laying Crystal Palace half stake as liability. Backing Liverpool half stake. It's not going to be the greatest profit on the planet. But that's pretty decent, isn't it? If we can get to that 1-1, we'll have an £8 loss. And we'll have the potential to start eating into this, get some of this back into our betting bank. It comes with risks. It's pre-Champions League, away from home. That's banana skin territory. It's as simple as that. Cesena and Palermo. Was I interested in that one? No. So up to you if you want to follow me there. If you are to lose today, it will be because of that Champions League. But it's a very, very strong first 11. He hasn't messed with it, has he? And Isak gets a look in today. So I might pass this one on to Telegrammers. Hope everything's okay on the Wi-Fi. Because it's a bit taking a while to load that one. So I'll just... Liverpool v Crystal Palace. It says interrupted. Okay, so I'll come back to you on that one. They have conceded the first goal. It is pre-Champions League, but it's been interrupted. I'll come back to you. So I don't know what's happened to interrupt the match. Is it an injury to someone? Okay. Anyone know what's happening at Liverpool? Does anyone know what's happening at Liverpool? No news just yet. I can't watch it. No, interrupted. Okay. No, you don't know what's happening at Liverpool. Okay. Anybody know what's happening at Liverpool? Am I talking to myself? Yeah. Okay. Right, let's have a look through some of these goals coming in then, while we're waiting to see what's happened over at Liverpool. Hope it's nothing too serious. Right. So let's take a look through these. £2.55 the favourite. No great interest. We've got a goal back from Mantova. Fabulous stuff. So those of you who did lay at 1.01, you are absolute geniuses, because look at Mantova now. I think Frosinone is still 101. Frosinone 101, because I will certainly be getting involved. Not at that higher liability. I've clicked the wrong button. You can just top this up just for a few pence more. Now they've got a goal back and they're really putting in some really solid stats. We've got half an hour to go. 2-4 is going to look very interesting as well. Psychologically as well, it'll change the momentum of the match. So I'm just topping up there. Nothing at Liverpool. Okay. So I don't know why the interruption then. Right, so we've got some goals coming in. And there we go. That's the kind of match I'll be looking for. Odds on Fabs Grimsby, a goal down to Cheltenham. So that's English League 2. So I'll keep an eye on that one. English League 2. Come on. Oh, man. There we go. English League 2. We've got a very strong odds on favourite, a goal down. Who were they again? Grimsby and Cheltenham, because the Gills are a goal down as well. I just noticed their odds look like they were a favourite, a goal down. So we've got a couple. English League 2, Grimsby and the Gills. I'll have to get rid of a few of these matches. I don't think I'll be trading Atletico Madrid, to be honest. It's too big an affair. Well, Ross County have the lead, so I'll get rid of that. And there's a Grimsby match, and as you can see, 2 shots on, 3 off. Good reaction. 1.45, that's more the kind of odds I would get involved in immediately, kind of thing. They were good last week. I think we traded that match last week, did we? I seem to remember. So that's a decent enough reaction to going a goal down for an odds on favourite side, but I've got to be very cautious in these, and I might be interested against a side with 3 defeats in 4. Liquidity in this Grimsby match. And I think, here we go. So Grimsby and Cheltenham, as ever, insurance, slightly illiquid, but you can't really start waiting for the sake of 0.02. I've got to get it on. I've got to get that scoreline covered. You'd have to go straight to the match odds and trust that these are 1.45 favourites because you're getting over evens. You can see that's good value. I've been flirting with whole stake on teams like this. I did it a couple of times this week, but you do need the win for the whole stake, and you need the equaliser very quickly because you've got a full liability loss on the draw. But doing it this way, half stake to win on Grimsby. And you can see the lack of liquidity means we're fighting some terrible lack of value. You can see here. So half stake back Grimsby, half stake as liability to lay Cheltenham while they're leading. So I'm going to have to take the hit here, whatever odds can be offered. That reduces the loss on the draw. In a match like this, where it's a very strong favourite, you're always going to get 13 quid or around that as a loss on the draw. That's why I lost a fair chunk last Saturday. I had quite a few matches like this, which ended the draw when I had a profit on the win. Those soon accumulate. You get 4 or 5 of them on the shot. That's heading towards 50 quid. The goals are popping in, and our odds-on favourite friends, Hearts, 1-0 up. Well worth following when odds on. So pity they didn't cock it up like they did the other week. Mansfield, good reaction to going a goal down. 3 shots on, 1 off, 1 corner. Don't forget, they're just odds-on favourites. Or here, they're not even odds-on favourites. But good reaction, that's what we're looking for. Grimsby, good reaction. That's what we're looking for. The other odds-on, Gillingham, 1 shot on, 2 off, 3 corners. But that's warming up nicely. And that's what you expect of a 1.45 shot. Chelsea have scored first against Brighton, pre-Champions League Chelsea as well. But they have some strength in depth, don't they? So just work our way through a few of these as the goals are coming in. Turkish Yorkshiremen have scored. Nora Batty on the sidelines, absolutely over the moon with that one for Iorkspor. Watford against Hull. Got an odds-on favourite match. Well, we know they're odds-on favourites, don't we? We know Hearts are odds-on. We know Chelsea are odds-on. Stockport and Reading, I don't know. We can have a quick look. Stockport and Reading, no, the odds-on favourite scored first, so no immediate interest there. But you can see Mansfield are warming up nicely. Down here, automatic play for me. This could be an automatic play for me because it's an odds-on favourite at home. Between odds of 1.5 and 1.7. But we can have a look at the Gills. I don't know these leagues very well. I can't trust these teams either. That's why I'm very hesitant. But certainly 4 wins in 5. So 2 wins in 3 for Harrogate Town. We're not getting our usual look, but have a quick look here. Championship, League 1, League 2. So that's Avellino and Virtus. So we just want to see if there's anything about Gillingham, why they're 1.62 at home. Could be that they're unbeaten at home this season. I don't know, but we'll soon find out. And I do have to research this because it's really poor secondary league. Hopefully it's not members only content. Come on, don't mess about, please. Well, my immediate worry, and I think you've seen it, 6 matches scoring only a single goal. 3 of their 4 wins at home were 1-0 only. So it's a really poor technique because, well, that's not unexpected, is it? Cherries have been in excellent form. 3 clean sheets in 5. Leeds United, trouble scoring. That's not a surprise. My main angle would be if Leeds scored first. Harrogate Town coming off the back of 4 defeats in 5, but it's all about where these two are relative to each other in the league. Probably see Gills up the top, and there's a huge gap. They haven't played any of 9th and lower, but you can infer that if they've got 4 out of 4 wins against the top 8, then in playing 16th today, they've got a fair chance, haven't they? And indeed, drawing away to 17th and 18th when you're playing 16th at home is suggestive of something. They do look like a good defensive side as well. So are Harrogate really going to score that second goal? Have they done it away from home? They've only scored 2 goals at home, and one of them was a draw. Away from home, they haven't scored that second goal. So I'm trying to tempt myself in here. I just don't know these teams very well. That's the reason. But on form, unbeaten this season, Gills look a really good candidate, don't they? Keeping clean sheets as well, and beating sides better than today's opponent. Odds on favourites, yes, Norwich have scored first against Stoke, so that's going to get a look in down here at the Championship. Norwich against Stoke. Why are Stoke favs? Can they respond? Can we make a profit? So let's have a look. Can Delia Smith get the most out of the boys? Stoke and Norwich. Well, you can immediately see, can't you? This is why I do this. You can immediately see that Stoke have been on the front foot in this match. No shots on, 4 shots off, 5 corners. 0.24 expected goals means the shots or the chances they're creating are very poor indeed. That's the reason you've got no goal. So this is of potential interest. I like the reaction from Stoke. 20 shots to 1 as well. Pre-match, 1.91 favourites. Grimsby are still looking good. I want to keep an eye on the Gills because they're unbeaten this season. So I'm just waiting to see if they ignite and give me a reason to want to start backing them. You've got the old Ted Rogers, 3-2-1. They're just hinting at it, aren't they? But it looks a little bit tight as we're coming to the second half of the first half. The momentum is very tight indeed. So it's not as emphatic as Grimsby, but it's still there. Stoke and Norwich, I will have to research because I don't know how these two have been getting on this season. But I like what Stoke's done today already. So we'll have a look at that. And Sheffield Wednesday against QPR. And we're going to equalise for Cremonese. We could see a potential late winner here. Newly promoted, they can always over-deliver, can't they? Especially when they've not met a side before. So Stoke and Norwich. Let's just take a quick look at the match. So work my way down. Challenge table will probably be the best and quickest route, but we do need to know recent form as well. Just a 1 defeat, and looks as if they're difficult to score 2 goals against Stoke this season. And we've got an opener. That could be an angle in, but I don't really like playing derbies. They're completely wide open, and the support's going to be mental. But Real Madrid are the form side of the two. Norwich, 1-2 win away, 0-2 away, and a 1-1. So you have to be a little careful. They've scored 2 goals already this season, twice away from home. Both teams have scored in 2 out of 3 and in 5 out of 6 matches this season for Norwich. So the inference is that Stoke don't concede that second goal. Norwich do score that second goal away. Both teams do score. So there's potential for Stoke to score. But will it be a 1-1 or a 0-2 to 1-2? The challenge table is absolutely pointless, isn't it, this season? Not enough matches to work off. You can see. Though it's 1-2, keep an eye on. I do like this, I must say. It does suggest that I have a little bit of a punt. And you can see Jane is getting involved. Old Mansfield. 5 shots on, 3 off and a corner. Don't forget, they are odds on at home. That's what we're looking for. We're looking at them to start evolving into a side who can potentially score that equaliser. So just going to be waiting on Stoke here for a little bit longer. Got a goal back from the Elf. And I didn't play, alas. I didn't play. But the goal has come 76th minute. Probably means that you'll be sitting on a small red if you got involved in the match odds. Although it sets it up nicely for a late lay of Daggerfalls. Swindon and Bromley probably odds on favourite, but Real Madrid odds on. Como and Cremonese. Have a look at the Cremonese goal, perhaps. If it was a pen, I might still fancy Como for the win. And we can have a look at Como's second half scoring as well. No, but Basharotti. Fair enough. From open play. No complaints. So I can pull out one of my AIs. Let's try that. Because one of them has a live element to it, just for a bit of fun. One of them has a live in play. And I think it could be this one. This is the one which has produced the brilliant reports, but then went all pear-shaped for the last 2 days. So that would just be interesting to see what it thinks about Como and Cremonese. I would be looking at laying the draw at some point with maybe a look at the in-play stats. So we've got a lot of teams on them. Oh, I took them off, didn't I? Because I was expecting Como to carry on and get the win. Well, 1-5 Mantova Frosinone. I don't need to be following that anymore. I had dreams of 2-4, 3-4, 4-4, but no. So I can free up some of this. Still, there's something up about this Portimonense odds. And the Elf, as I've told you, 0-2 is a very good entry point. If you are going to get involved, it keeps your liability low and it leaves you alive if they do manage to get that goal. I think I'll get rid of the Mainz Dortmund, but I would encourage you to lay Dortmund away from home pre-Champions League. If you're going to get anything like 1.1 or lower, okay, I would recommend a lay. Just for this weekend. St. Pauli Leverkusen called that one very nicely, but I didn't make any money out of it, alas. Portimonense making it 1-3. Well, looks like the market got that wrong. There's suspiciously high odds. Just be interested to see whether Academico could do the job, but that's answered our question there. So we keep getting the goals popping in. It's goal before half time for Heidenheim and Augsburg. Another tough to call match. So let's work our way down. The second half, possible lay the draw here. I would suspect we won't see a second consecutive 1-1. St. Pauli aren't as goal shy as Borussia Mönchengladbach, that's for sure. 2-0 to SJK against Inter Turkey. That might be an entry point, but I'm not going to get carried away just yet. Ajax have scored first against NAC Breda. No great surprise there. Chesterfield and Newport. Who's the favourite? Well, let's have a look. I'm still tempted by Gillingham. Tempted by Gillingham. Their pre-match odds look as if, yeah. So no surprises there from Chesterfield. Similar odds to Grimsby, but not a similar result. So let's just work our way through. Coming to half time. Don't have a strong opinion here, but 0.83 expected goals is impressive. As is 1.51 for Cesena. It's hinting the possibility of that second. No draw in 3 for Palermo. Dundee United, Kilmarnock, odds on favourites are a goal down, so I'll keep an eye on Dundee United, see if we're going to get any reaction from them. Hearts, well, I'll take them off the watch list now. And Celtic, well, do you trust the old firm anymore? Normally 1.3, a goal before half time. 1-0, 3-0, 3-1, any other home score win. But just can't trust the old firm at the moment. Grimsby, yes, it's looking good, making the right noises. Keep making sure Cheltenham don't add any more shots. So as long as it's 0-1, we're okay. Just hinting at something. Hopefully the second half they will ignite, get us that equaliser. St Johnstone might see that 0-0 end second half, 3 consecutive wins for a side. Newly relegated and loving it in the lower tier. And there's the Leeds equaliser against Bournemouth. I wouldn't have played that one myself. It's a tough old coupon in the Premier League today. Celtic look like, will they get a goal before half-time? Up to you if you wanted to play that one. 1-0, 2-0 Celtic in a half-time score market if you fancied that. 1.44 for Mansfield now against Rotherham. It's hinting at a possible involvement and a possible goal. Yes, it's grim up north, but Grimsby get us the equaliser. And now you're up and running. We've got the whole second half of the 1.45 favourite now to just bring us in that 27 quid profit. Or we'll make a small loss on the draw. Keep an eye out. Just wait for the market to get a bit more liquid. Then you can look at seeing if we can take any of this. This is what I did with ADO Den Haag last night. I negated this as much as I could. I left a good bit on them and they ended up winning. And I didn't have to monitor the match. So it's very useful. And Burnley have equalised pre-Champions League Man City. This could be interesting for Scott Cardigan Parker. St Johnstone scoring as expected. Man City Burnley pre-Champions Leagues. What are we going to do? We saw what Burnley did the other day. Get done late on. We could see that happening again. So we're going to catch up with some Premier League stats, I think, because we're missing all the fun. It is a tough Premier League for me today, though. Last week, most of my profits came after 5 o'clock. So that'll give you an idea. I might be up going a bit later this evening. So Crystal Palace and Liverpool, no reaction yet from Liverpool. This is, you're putting life in your own hands, trusting them pre-Champions League. 0.22 expected goals, really good defensive display and a really good goal threat. Man City and Burnley, just waiting for a catch-up here at 1-1. No, the goal hasn't been scrubbed. So we're just waiting on that. Yes, indeed, Michael. Good reaction from Mansfield. But it's still, Michael, it's still a very tight match. 13 attacks to 9. Shots on target are equally spread, aren't they? 25th minute for one, 27th minute for the other, half an hour for one, 36 for the other. So they're both giving as good as they get, but you see that momentum has been pretty much all Mansfield since conceding the goal. But don't forget, as a 1.9 or even 2.1 favourite, they're not rock solid. They're not 1.48, are they? Were you expecting to get a nice quick equaliser and have a nice quiet afternoon, backing an odds on at over evens? Gillingham as well, unbeaten, don't forget. And if they start to ignite, we might get some interest from them. That, you see, and it's 2-1 already. So, Michael, you look at the contrast. Mansfield, 14 attacks to 10. Gillingham, 27 attacks to 7. So which of these two, at similar odds, would you be more interested in taking on? What else do we have? Momentum as well. But what do we have here? 1.52 expected goals. So creating solid chances. So it's a real conundrum, isn't it? Playing these lower tiers. I'm getting more enamoured by Gillingham and the fact they've got an unbeaten record to look at, the fact they're at home, and the fact that they look as if they're interested in getting an equaliser. So that might be my next play, Gillingham. And there we go, Real Madrid equaliser. On form, you'll be doing that all day long. But long term, I made more losses and gains in derby-style matches, so I tend to leave them alone. I'm going to get the Gillingham match up. There we go. You can get out of this. That's why I love these short odds. 1.45, backing it over evens, getting out by half time. What's my loss? £3.60. Immediate gain, 17 quid. Could stay in for that 27, but I could stay in for that 27, and I'll show you how. It won't be 27 though. It'll be slightly shaved. This is what's called a variable profit Dutching calculator. You can keep a static profit on Grimsby, and you can work to negate this liability while keeping a static profit or loss on the draw. And you can see it's not costing anything to negate this 39 quid, is it? So it's highly recommended. And as the odds go up, it's costing you even less. So now you're creating a bit of peace of mind now. Right, that's looking a lot rosier. Go in again and click on the draw on this occasion. Let's negate that 13. While still ticking the draw to make sure that's just evens or thereabouts. And you can see it's not knocking too much into the Grimsby profits. But then you ask the question, all of this for an extra 3 quid. And if this is 2-2, I'm going to punch myself in the face. So I might as well get out at 21 is what I'm saying. But this is a decent enough. Now, if this is 2-2, the swear jar will overfloweth. No. No, you've got to wait for this to just get a bit tighter. And I think I'll take that green because it's fair enough. It's pretty much similar to that, isn't it? And the advantage here is you've got a profit on everything. So it's a 20 quid gain from a 1.45 shot before the first half is even over. So don't knock it. If you wanted to play just odds on favourites, you're going to get a very high strike rate. But it's going to be very unadventurous, if that's what you like. I like Jills. I think I'm going to go back to the Jills. There we go. There's that confirmation of Grimsby. We don't need to follow it anymore. And it's helped very nicely by Cheltenham red card. So that's very useful indeed. We can get rid of Partick Thistle as well. They've already done the damage with that red card against those red cards. So that's looking good. Liverpool are looking wobbly. I did warn you, if you do get involved, you get involved with concerns. Okay. Champions League away from home against an unbeaten home side with a very tight defence. But they are 90-minute heroes, Liverpool. That's the angle this season. I might pass the Gillingham match on to Telegrammer's second half. It's hit and miss though, but the attacks are just showing that they might be up for this one. So enough of an indicator, haven't we, that there would be a possible goal second half if you've got this, adding this together, heading towards 2.5. It's nearly 3 goals, and that's what we've got. More Champions League sides cocking it up. Ajax, Manchester City. So I did tell you, any of these Champions League boys at 1.1 or over, I've got I had the Champions League teams remaining here. So if you get this up as a graphic, and you can check, I really recommend it. If they're 1.1 or lower, lay them. I don't know if Ajax were 1.1 or lower, leading 1-0. I don't know if Man City were 1.1 or lower, leading. This is the time to take them on. These Champions League sides, you can see Liverpool struggling, Leverkusen struggling, Dortmund, sound as a pound. But if you wanted to be mischievous, you could be laying them as well. So let's have a look. Perfect odds to lay, aren't they? And Como have been red carded in the 87th minute. Oh dear, says Fabregas, not a happy bunny. But is this a player or is it a member of the coaching staff? Because they've got a very vocal coaching staff at Como. So let's just see if it's a player on the pitch. Don't know if Cremonese have the quality to take advantage. They are newly promoted, but they have been scoring. Rodriguez for elbowing. Okay. So let's have a look at the head-to-heads for Cremonese. If they've got 2 goals in the locker, well, 2 consecutive 0-0s is a concern. Did score 3 against Sassuolo, but Sassuolo also newly promoted. So for me, I think against other than fellow relegation fodder, they might find that second goal a problem. I wouldn't be laying Como. I wouldn't be laying the draw in this one myself. Como disciplined enough, I think, to cope with that. It's 55th minute now. The second half's beginning. St. Pauli and Bayer Leverkusen. It would surprise me greatly if this were to end 1-1. So that draw might be vulnerable. Over 3.5 goals might be a better play, because you might get a 2-2. But St. Pauli at home are excellent. Leverkusen have had a 1-1 last match, which tempers the enthusiasm for the draw. Maybe laying over 2.5 goals going to be a bit too costly. That's wrong anyway. To win 20 quid. Cost £8.80, and I just sit on that, and then hopefully it'll be 1-1 for a while. But we're getting decent odds. I'm just troubled by that 1-1 last match. Pre-Champions League as well for Leverkusen. Yes, St. Pauli did score 3 against Dortmund, and it's looking okay, isn't it? But I'll wait for this to hit hundreds or something if we get nearer to that. It's just trusting a side like St. Pauli with a full liability lay of the draw is a bit difficult. Heidenheim against Augsburg was a 2.4 the favourite match. You've got a 2-0 lead at half-time or just after half-time. You've just seen with Elfsborg, potentially gettable, particularly 2 sides who are a bit lukewarm, aren't they? Augsburg having an awful start to the season, but it's a 2.4 the favourite. Depending on Heidenheim's odds, if they're ultra short, well worth laying. Because Augsburg would be feeling that this is the kind of side they can start getting back up into a winning streak. So I'm not going to go too overboard with this one. Just want to have an interest in case we get a 2-1, decently enough timed to move the market. So there we go, 4 quid liability. We will see. Now we've got a suspended market. And there we go, over 2.5 goals. If you did lay the draw there, and I wish I had, I've just missed out. Called it really well, but missed out on Leverkusen. I hope you got involved and laid the draw there. Hoping that St. Pauli would get the goal. But no, Leverkusen do. That's the beauty of laying the draw. It's a neutral play. So let me just have a look through. 1-2, yeah. St. Pauli and Bayer Leverkusen. So you saw that 2-2 I was trying to aim for earlier on, and the 3-3, and the over 3.5 goals. I was it got that 1-1 just as I got to the markets. Very disappointed because that would have been my play. Based mostly on that 3-3 against Dortmund at home. I like what I'm seeing there. And it's a Leverkusen scoring and conceding. So, bang. Really good. Really well called, but I didn't take advantage. Heidenheim and Augsburg, did we get to that match? Yes, we did. I've already done that one. Okay. Just given the fact they're both problematic sides. Problem, really, scoring goals for Heidenheim. Are they really going to follow up? Tight enough if Augsburg can get going. But it's a limited liability, not going to cost us much. Are we going to see Scott Cardigan Parker's Burnley hold on until the 95th minute? or is Erling Haaland et al.? Has Erling Haaland been rested with the Champions League in mind? That's an important question. So we'll just check that one out. Have City made significant lineup changes? Well, no, Haaland's playing. Doku, Foden, Reinders, Savinho. It's a decent enough side. Yeah, looks strong enough to me. But you know what you're getting with Burnley, don't you? It's a 10-man defence, very unimaginative football, trying to get a set piece win, and it falls foul when they concede. Oh, Real Madrid! I've missed a trick there, haven't I? Atletico Madrid, gettable all day long this season. I just don't like playing these derbies. I can't see Cremonese getting a win against Como, to be honest, but if you fancy to lay the draw, help yourself. Celtic and Hibs, looks like that draw will be gettable second half. 3 shots on, 7 off and 3 corners. FC Inter, 2-0 down. 1 shot on, 7 off, 3 corners. 43 attacks to 12. That's more like a 2-0 to take on, isn't it? That's the kind of stats you want. Stoke City are making us think we should be looking for that equaliser, but it's 0.32 expected goals. It's a poor generation of chances, no shot on target. Gillingham are unbeaten this season, 29 attacks to 8. Knocking on that door, but again, very lukewarm shots on and shots off. Mansfield knocking on the door again, 1.52 expected goals, but only 17 attacks to 13, so suggesting that Rotherham are with a chance here. And St Johnstone have conceded. That might be a late lay the draw. Get rid of Grimsby. Really solid match, that one. Get rid of a few of these while it's half time. So I might play Gillingham, but I will play it writing off my stake because it's not a good league. And they're not rock solid favourites. They're 1.9. So I'll just clear up a bit of this. SJK and FC Inter does interest me. So I will just check out the market on that one. But it is a bit of a derby style match. Enough teams in the Veikkausliiga that they could cancel each other out, really. Or either could beat the other on a given day. That's what I'm trying to say. Rijeka is 0-0 at half time. Odds on favourites, as you can see. No shots on target. And very similar attacks, 31 to 29. Oh, I'll get rid of a bit of this while it's heading towards the second half. And we might pick up some matches to just put on the shortlist as well, particularly in the Czech one leg. And any red cards. Well, that's coming to an end there. Desmond Tutu, Bohemians and Sigma Olomouc. And a red card match there. And that's the kind of thing I want to look for a late... No, it's ended. Look for a late equaliser against 10 men. Danish First Division won't be playing that today. Championship, let's have a look through. Half-time, Middlesbrough and Southampton. Don't have a strong angle here, but Middlesbrough are the form side at the moment. The wheels are starting to fall off for the Saints. Ipswich are leading Pompey, as you'd expect, 1.36 home favourites. Oxford United against Sheffield United. Sheffield United very, very untrustworthy. Don't know what to do with them. The Blades, something has gone wrong. New manager has caused that, I would suspect. The wheels have fallen off. Anything else? Preston and Bristol City. Potential for that draw to end if Bristol City continue with that kind of pressure from the first half. Watch list. Anything else? Well, FA Cup qualifiers you can't play, lacking liquidity. We'll just get rid of a few of these and then we'll be back to our 4 o'clocks. Oh, that'll do. So that's the watch list at the moment. coming to an end. Not in the best of form, the Elf, so I'm glad I saved a bit of cash on that one. 2.16 expected goals for the Wolfsburg. Do you trust that? Both sides look as if it's to and fro, because they've both got a really good angled momentum. 2.16 expected goals. Are you going to be taking on Leipzig at 1.33? Tempting. St. Pauli and Leverkusen. My angles in there. Goals before half-time. Both teams to score. I didn't get onto the markets, I'm afraid. They were going to be possibly 2-2 and 3-3. Certainly over 3.5 goals at over evens. That was an absolute killer at 1-0. But all the fun has gone out. Heidenheim layable. Just on the basis of the fact that they're 2.4 the favourite. They've had 4 defeats in 5. Playing another side with 4 defeats. But they haven't been scoring enough goals, Heidenheim, really. So I don't know if they'll follow up. Just could be the fact that Augsburg are just that bad this season. But laying at these odds, it'll not cost you much to find out. Man City and Burnley, pre-Champions League. Liverpool, pre-Champions League, losing. Man City, pre-Champions League, drawing. Do we trust them this weekend? Really strong sides out, you must say. And whenever Erling Haaland's out and about, Burnley are going to be in a spot of bother. Could be one to sit on for a while, this Man City Burnley. You might see 1-1 for a bit longer. We will see. Dundee United and Kilmarnock, an odds-on favourite. Dundee United a goal down. Don't have a strong opinion on that one. Crystal Palace, Liverpool. I've already got involved, but it's a very tricky one today. Unbeaten Crystal Palace. Hard to score goals against Crystal Palace. Goal coming in. I don't know who that was. And it's 2-2 Athletic and Real Madrid. So that could be a Desmond second half. Great match to watch. Not necessarily for me to trade. Celtic, possible lay the draw second half. Is it too short or too big for me? I don't like playing the old firm at the moment. I'd rather get very, very short odds if I'm going to be playing them. But they're likely to be the next goal. Or based on the odds, 3-0, 3-1, any other home score second half, if you fancied that. Odds on favourites are leading St Mirren against Dundee. I can just take that, free up some space here. Based purely on the in-play stats, 0.74 expected goals, really good stuff from Bristol City. I'm not keen on laying these draws in these kind of matches. I like the ones with the red card earlier on. St Johnstone, are they going to get the win? Keep that 3-match winning run going. Mansfield, they look like it, don't they? They look like they can get a goal. But is it going to be the next goal? Pre-match odds on favourites. Oxford United, just based on this really. I like what I'm seeing here. Sheffield United just look appalling. So are we going to see an Oxford United has scored 2 goals in each of the last 3 matches? Take advantage of a side who's failed to score. But they are only losing 1-0, Sheffield United. So it does look as if they will hold out and hold out and hold out, possibly get done late on. It remains 1-2. So interesting. Is it going to end 1-0 this one? Gillingham and Harrogate. I might play, I think. I'm not sure if I'll pass it on to Telegrammers or not. But if ever I lose money, it's going to be in these lower tiers. And this is the problem with Saturdays. On a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't have the distraction of these poor leagues. League 1, League 2. So I'd have to get involved here. Take the insurance out. 2 lots of 20. And then check out the +1 market. Given the league, that will cover the draw. If it's significantly higher than 1.27, I doubt it will be. I think it'll be something like 1.7 or 1.8, given they're unbeaten at home. Well, 1 over expectation. So if I place my 40 there, Might have internet issues. There we go. Place my 40 there and just see how much of a return I'll get. $34. And how much was the insurance? God, this is getting a bit sticky now. And 10. So it'd be a 24 net profit. Match odds, I've not really liked it. They've not been banging on the door, have they? Don't be banging in the shots on, shots off. So this might be a bit worrying, but 4.2 is decent, and you're getting an odds-on lay of Harrogate. So if you want the bigger return for unbeaten Gillingham, this is the avenue. So this comes with risks because it's the League Two, and you're going to pick up losses in these lower leagues. These sides are just untrustworthy, even if they utterly dominate matches. We're getting to see some cock-ups in Europe now. Ajax pre-Champions League going a goal down to NAC Breda. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So let's just keep an eye. Work our way as well from the top. Looks like Leipzig have wrestled back the momentum against the Wolf. 2.17 plus 1, 3.6 expected goals between these two. And it still remains 0-1. If you wanted it, just for some fun to see whether the expected goals will come in. Let's have a look. They're just not converting the chances, are they? I thought it would be a lot lower. Under over 2.5 goals. Oh no, 4.6. Reasonable enough. This is just an experiment. Just to see whether adding up the expected goals ratio can give us a hint of goals to come. So just having a dip my toe in. Just to reiterate, if you're having a look, 2.26 expected goals for Wolfsburg, 1.52 for Leipzig, and only one goal has been scored. 15 minutes to go, a long time for at least another goal to be scored, I hope. Goal has been disallowed for NAC Breda, what a pity. SV Reed against Grazza, odds-on favourite, has scored the opening goal there. Red card for Mainz, so it's a good pre-Champions League weekend there for Dortmund. Right, let's take a march through the lower tiers and what we're looking at. So Wolfsburg and the Elf, I've just backed over 2.5 goals, just based on the expected goals ratio, 2.26 plus 1.52. Suggestive of a lot of goal action, a lot of quality chances. Maybe the goalkeepers are having a humdinger. St. Pauli and Leverkusen, well, everything is done for me. I called everything right, but I didn't put any money down. Both teams to score goals before halftime. What a pity. Oh, this is the one. Heidenheim, we've got that lay in. It's a very speculative lay, and you can quite clearly see there's a whole mountain of problems for Augsburg this season. Man City, you're going to lay the draw now. I wouldn't be laying it now. It could be a very, very defensive Burnley. I don't know how to play Man City at home as well. Champions League, though, do need to win. Not seeing anything from Dundee United. Liverpool, I'm just hit and hope, basically. Pre-Champions League away from home is your banana skin. Celtic, you can quite clearly see, carried on where they left off. It's your good old-fashioned matter of time. But do you trust the old firm this season? Can't even beat Kairat Almaty, for goodness sake. So 1.41, absolutely nothing to interest us, is there? If you're looking for 3-0, 3-1, any other home score, that could just about cover it. 6.8. That will cover the 3-1 and any other home score. It's a bit lukewarm. Over 2.5 goals at 2.98. Could be good for trading. Those of you who want a go at really good odds, 1.33 shot is expected to have the following score lines: 3-0. You can see it's very lukewarm at 9.8. 3-1 in case we get a goal from Hibs, and any other home score. And we got a 1-1 for Stoke against Norwich, so that's those 6 shots off and 6 corners did pay off. I didn't play that one, alas. So you can really load up here on the 3-1. That's always going to be the biggest odds of the 3. 12.5. Is it lukewarm? Is it a liquid market? Or are we getting ripped off? It looks tight enough, doesn't it? The simplest method, I would say, just lay that draw. You can see we keep our liability low. And we've got any other home win, and we're looking at the 3-0 as well. But not a team to trust to turn 1.33 into these type of a return. They've just been under par, both old firm sides. Your only other angle is just to wait. Hopefully the other two will get matched. You see that 10.5 is waiting there patiently. It would be nice if that got taken. I might have to just place it because it's an illiquid market, so I'm the only market force there. So there we go, £2.27. So you can see Saturday's turning into a speculative day again, like it was last week. This is why I prefer the 5 o'clocks onwards, because we've got less of a distraction. Well, 2-0 SJK against Inter. Is it still 2-0? Or a bit no, 3-0. Oh dear. 3-0 for Hearts. So let's do a bit of a catch up. So Celtic, if we can get a goal to make it 1-0 quickly, that will bring the 3-0 into the equation. Preston and Bristol City is only based on the in-play stats from the first half, so nothing has changed. And again, we're just looking to see if St Johnstone wake up second half. They are the best side in the Championship at the moment. Mansfield, well, Stoke did it. Can Mansfield and Gillingham do it? Gillingham look more likely, don't they? I might pass the Gillingham one on. Gillingham v Harrogate Town. Gillingham are unbeaten this season, and they look like they could equalise. They're a goal down. I've laid over 1.5 goals. I'm going to back Gillingham +1. That covers the draw because it is English League 2. Celtic are hitting 114 in the attacking pressure index, suggesting they're soon going to be scoring a goal. So keep an eye on that. Those draw odds, if they get short enough, they'll be layable enough. Oh. Okay. Or Chelsea red card. More Champions League concerns. So this is certainly a weekend for the curse of the Champions League, isn't it? It's showing up in quite a few matches. I would dearly love St. Pauli to get a late equaliser. If Bayer Leverkusen get to 1.1, certainly I'll be thinking about laying them. Looks like Augsburg are not a side to trust this season, but that's why you lay at 1.05 at very, very short odds. It doesn't matter. Only the 2 shots on target for Man City. You know what's going to happen with them, don't you? It could be they just get strangled the life out of. Liverpool still 0.38 expected goals. Well, as the second half begun, I'm not too sure. Yeah, just about begun, so it's going to run behind some of the others. I've got involved with the Liverpool match just because it's them. And Kilmarnock have taken a 0-2 lead against Dundee United, but they weren't showing like they would equalise, do they? I've got involved with Celtic, just looking at 3-0, 3-1, any other home, but likely they're not going to be delivering the 3 goals. Just been under par. Bristol City still not adding to their shots off the corners from the first half. Gillingham, knock, knock, knock on that door. Can they get that next goal unbeaten this season, just as Stoke did? So I'll take Stoke off the watch list. I was looking for that equaliser, wasn't there? Southampton and Borough. Well, it looks like defences are way on top at the moment. Rijeka and Istra. Expected goals at 1.12, but still no shots on target. So they are knocking on the door, Rijeka. But I'm not too keen to get the lay in just yet. And FC Inter. If you wanted a play, I wouldn't put you off the play. So let's have a look. It's very sticky today. No, well, maybe just in case we get a quick response from FC Inter. They've had an excellent season. I bet you this is 2-1. Oh, man. If it's 3-0, that'll be fine. But if it's 2-1, this is a problem with a 12-second delay. Oh, man. Don't say it so. If it's 3-0, no problem. Oh, come on, eh? Oh, 18.5, I just backed them. 18.5, mark that. When you look at the market returning. Told you 2-0 is a great entry point. Just bad timing on my part. 12-second gap there, so please remember that in Finland in the future. That cost me a few quid. Disappointed there. 12-second delay in Finland. That's all it was down to, that 12-second damn delay. It's mentioned up here. 18.5. That's why I back them. If I'm not confident, I'll back it. Because if you get the goal, you're not going to get 18.5. As you can quite clearly see here. All the way down. Boom. Merry Christmas. Boom. All the way down. So I hope you were a little quicker than me. It does present an interesting possible play now, but the value is certainly gone. Lay over 3.5 goals. They're suggesting more goals are to come. Certainly. If over 3.5 goals is only 1.28, we might see another Inter goal. 50 attacks to 16. So I might, again, this is just my personal, if I've got enough money left, because it's all, I've got a lot of outlay at the moment. There's that 12-second delay. So the whole value has gone from the 2-0, but I'm looking for the potential for an equaliser. So Inter +1, probably 2s or higher, yeah. So I'll have a go, see if we can get that equaliser from FC Inter. Yeah, it looks like I'm using up all my funds, so I'm going to have to transfer some. All of my funds are involved in all of these different matches, so I'm going to have to do a bit of juggling. I need to mute the screen somehow. So I don't know how to do that because I'm well, you're not going to be seeing any. No, I don't want to be showing you my personal stuff after being hacked. But I do need to be transferring some funds. So I'm just working out how to pause this. If it stops, it actually stops to fade to black transition. Oh, I really don't know what I'm doing here. Oh well, we'll see if I can get some of my money freed up from other plays. Accrington, Stanley and Walsall. Well, let's have a look as we get some of these lower tier stuff through. So quick walk through. Yeah, 1.09 or lower lay of Bayer Leverkusen I would recommend for you. Definitely. Man City, lots of secondary stats as you'll expect to get through. And when? That's all done and dusted. I don't think I'll be playing Dundee United today. Liverpool, 90th minute equaliser, you would suggest, is on the cards. And Southampton have the breakthrough against Middlesbrough. Not a side you can readily trust. Celtic, just waiting for them to break through. But as I say, this season, awful side. Mansfield, yeah, look. Oh, man. Right, how do I... Does anyone know how do I mute? Not mute, but just pause this. Yeah. Scene list. Okay. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Scene list mode. No. Yeah, it was just to add a little bit extra in because I'm extended in quite a few matches that haven't produced a goal yet, and the insurance is keeping me involved. You can see Raika, the possibility of laying that draw. And there we go. Man City have made it 2-1 against Burnley. Don't know where I could see the value there myself. So I'll take that one off the watch list. And let's just have a look at some of the 3 o'clocks because we've been missing out on a few of those. But I don't mind missing out on the lower tiers. Well, we should lay that draw second half in the SPL, in the Madrid match. Just have a look at, gonna have a look at English League 1, English League 2 and the Championship. And the Eredivisie. Wow, talk about pre-Champions League. I think this is a changed Ajax side today, that's for sure. Wow, that tells you a big story. And Jane has got the equaliser, so called it right. Stoke and Mansfield should have really played this one. Was it the one I was going to? No, it was the Inter one I was going to. Oh, that's a pity, calling that one right. So penalty to Leipzig. So Michael, I wonder if you got involved with Mansfield. I hope you did. Oh, that could be a play. Sheffield United against Oxford. So I'm going to have to transfer some cash. Raith Rovers and Arbroath. So let me just see if I can get into my Betfair. So let's... Oh, I don't know my username and password off the top of my head. Oh well, I'll have to sit on it, I'm afraid. I don't want to be showing you my details after what happened earlier on this year. So Southampton Middlesbrough 1-0. Didn't have an interest in that one. I can't trust the Saints. And you know what you're going to get with Middlesbrough? Really solid this season. Let's work our way down to England. See, this is a busy day. Olympiacos against Levadiakos, possibility that they would struggle again. Another Champions League side, so clearly it's having a big impact on a lot of teams. French Ligue 1, Lorient, Monaco, pre-Champions League, Monaco, and away from home. Like Liverpool, pre-Champions League, Liverpool in all sorts of bother. KTP already leading. So we've got league sides to keep an eye on. Leeds 2, Bournemouth 1. Great play from Leeds, but I don't have an angle in that one. Red card for Chelsea. We're going to see any reaction from Brighton. We will wait and see. Looking at League 1 and League 2 now. See if we've got anything to catch the eye. Not really. And Celtic have the first goal. 65th minute. Celtic have the first goal. So that's going to wake up the correct score market. The greatest angle was just to lay the draw. If you can get decent odds about laying the draw with a 1.33 favourite with those kind of stats, then off you go. You're going to get a really nice odds move upwards. Correct score. We're not going to be seeing a green just yet. That's not my profit. I wish it was. The problem with trading the correct score market, as you can see, it really does lack liquidity. Oh, Man City pulling away now. Probably the Erling Haaland show, no doubt. Wolfsburg ends. St. Pauli, I would love to get a late equaliser. You can see that just that pervading Champions League concern with a few of these teams. Let's work our way down League 2. Anything else catching the eye before I keep an eye out? There we go. 5-1 to Grimsby. That's more like it. So, Mansfield, Stoke. But of course, I picked Gillingham. And they don't do anything. So don't get me to buy your lottery tickets. So just quite a few matches coming on board. So it'll all quiet down at 5 o'clock, and I can just get back to normal. Really good stuff from Stoke, wasn't it? They were great even before conceding. Sheffield Wednesday and QPR. See, that's why I'm trying to get rid of some of these so it doesn't move like that. 1.37 for Gos Tepe against newly promoted Ayopspor, who did stay up, though must be said, last season. They did stay up. So none of my matches are seeing any action yet. The one I've got interest in. They are suspending, but not showing anything at the moment. So a quick look at our odds-on list. Anything of interest there? Well, Reed did have the goal in the back of the net. That was disallowed. Raika, really solid, but lacking the shots on target. Everything else ticking every box. Odds on Chelsea, pre-Champions League, red carded. Pre-Champions League, losing. Pre-Champions League, were drawing, but that's what I'm saying about Celtic. 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. We got the first goal. Hopefully we get a few more. We can get rid of this now. Ipswich. Stoke, one of the equalisers. Oh, look at that. Just my luck. 0-0. Mansfield equaliser, but Gillingham, nothing yet after the 76th 72nd minute. Inter got that feeling they'll make it 2-2 at some point. So just got some trades in, but just waiting for them to hit. Very, very quiet. Now, can St. Pauli make it 2-2? The home fans would love it. If you're going to lay these Champions League sides, lay them at 1.1 or lower. Liverpool have just edged over the 1 point expected goal, but still it's very, very static. Shots on target, only one second half. But as you know, they're the 90-minute experts. Pre-Champions League, playing a very tough to beat Crystal Palace. Celtic ball in the back of the net. Now, if you didn't want to go correct score, you could start looking, because the draw odds are going to get lower and lower in the Celtic match. And it's just a matter of trusting whether they get the ball in the back of the net with 17 shots, 63 attacks. Preston or Bristol City, I'm not going to pull the trigger on this, but despite the expected goals, they've gone down all of a sudden. So that's Northampton and Bolton. We've got another suspended market, but just not hearing any goals in my matches of interest. You're going to lay the draw second half, Athletic and Real Madrid. It looks an absolute humdinger, as you'd expect from these two. We've had plenty of second half goals in Real Madrid matches. They've had to dig themselves out of the fire a few times. So, and indeed Atletico Madrid recently, lots of second half action from them, goals wise. So that 2-2, very, very gettable. That's for sure. Turkish Yorkshireman could be vulnerable against Göztepe, as you can see. 11 shots off target, 1.37 expected goals. But that probably came in this momentum here. So I won't be laying the draw just yet there. It's a lower tier as well. St Johnstone, we were just looking for them to see if they come alive. Newly relegated on a run of 3 consecutive wins, dominating this lower tier, but just not come alive, have they, yet? Mansfield did. What a pity. Called that one right. This is what I was interested in. Sheffield United, a whole raft of 1-0 defeats, i.e. not scoring. Are they really going to suddenly score a second goal? So they could be layable, but probably one of those you want to be laying Sheffield United in the match odds market, if you can get as short odds as possible about them. It'd be difficult to imagine a sudden 0-2 from them, but they will, you'll bet, be looking after this 1-0. Gillingham doing everything, but Stoke got the goal. Mansfield get the goal. Gills knocking on that door, aren't they? Knocking on that door. Could just do with that equaliser. 1.05 expected goals from the Gills. Unbeaten this season as well, so hopefully that will come into play. No shots on target from Brighton. Not reacted at all to the red card. Some teams you won't lay them down to 10. Teams like Arsenal tend to perform really well. Southampton and Borough, well, a really good performance from Southampton today, given the fact Borough are there or thereabouts near the top of the table. 2.35 the favourite, given Saints a chance today. I don't have an opinion, I'm afraid. Raika doing everything apart from score a goal. No shots on. Just open the door up for a 1.09, 1.06 late lay. I would expect this to look at a possible 2-2. But the only real way in, I would like to cover that 2-1. But it cost a lot, 72nd minute. Well, look at this. This is Champions League written all over it, isn't it? I think Ajax must have rested quite a few of their players. There's a Nak Breda performing admirably at 1-1. Monaco, Champions League as well. So you could see vulnerability from them. Again, like Liverpool, away from home. Champions League Ollie, more struggles at 1.17. So you see a theme developing here. Just have a look through our lower tiers. Get rid of a few of these as well. I suspect 5 o'clock onwards today is going to be where I'm going to be seeing some more or some profitable trades. The ones today, the insurance is helping me out at the moment, but it's a little quiet on the goals front. Just get rid of a few of these. Yeah, it's well deserved from Kilmarnock, that's for sure. And well deserved from Hearts as well. Odds on tend to deliver. Odds on St Mirren doing the job, and Ross County cocking it up again. Get rid of a few of these. Just so I can get to the leagues of interest quicker. Greenock Morton and Ross County, that's the equaliser for Greenock. I prefer St Johnstone to Ross County in that championship from the newly relegated Brigade. Santa Clara always worth following. There's old Elvis. He's about to play. So do remember, prime yourself for the possibility of a late Liverpool equaliser. They've done it already 3 or 4 times this season. 89th or 90th minute. So do look out for that. If ever they're gettable, it's this type of weekend. And there we go. Champions League, Real Madrid down. Champions League, Chelsea have conceded. Wow. You'd be looking to lay Atletico Madrid, wouldn't you? If we're getting decent enough odds. Oh, why has it not come up? We're probably under Atletico. So if you did lay the draw second half, that was an obvious play, wasn't it? Really obvious. But they're going to be expecting another goal, so the draw odds are going to be flatlining, aren't they? Again, I can't see this ending suddenly 3-2. There we go. I was just about to back Real Madrid at 7.4 there. So I'm just missing out times-wise today. I think there'll be more matches there. Well, Middlesbrough, as befits top of the league, I suppose, but a lot of matches I can't read today, so I'm not going to play if I can't read. Liverpool, yeah, 70th minute, plenty of time still. But very shy on the shots on target, last one on the, 10 minutes ago. Celtic doing what the Old Firm do, as you can see. Total waste of money, aren't they, the Old Firm this season? God awful. That is 3-0, 3-1, any other home score, isn't it? But no, it's Celtic, of course. I'm not going to go Preston and Bristol. It looks like it's frozen in time, these in-play stats. Atletico Madrid look layable at 1.5, don't they? Or rather, Real Madrid backable at 7.2, if I could get on. Maybe handbags at the moment. So just a bit of a play there. Because you're likely to see the odds drop to about 3.5 if we make it 3-3. That's what I would expect. So I'm looking for an odds move, hopefully. Right, anything else for anything else? Still no reaction from Oxford United. But it's obvious, Sheffield United 10-man defence, their first win of the season after a whole raft of 1-0 defeats. Gills just reminding me that it's League Two. Everything apart from score a goal, basically. Brighton just a single shot on target. I wouldn't have laid Chelsea, but And Ajax have got the better of NAC Breda. Make it 2-1. That's it. Yeah, 2-1. Champions League Monaco, no goals yet after 37. Ollie still struggling. Pre-Champions League against Levadiakos. So quite a session with lots of insurance plays that are still alive. Grimsby the only profit, but everything else is static, waiting to either give me a payback or not. So I think this evening we're going to see a lot stronger coupon, I think. A lot quieter, at least. We've got the Champions League sides in Belgium. And we've got a lot of Italian football, Premier League and everything else. So I'm looking forward to it. That's the Ajax goal to make it 2-1. As you can see, it's not much going on, eh? The odd goal popping in here and there. From my perspective, my matches of interest, Celtic 3-0, 3-1, any other home. Howling Mad Murdoch to trust this lot. Athletic backing Real Madrid. Hoping we get a quick 3-3 like we have done in the first half. Any of these others? Just waiting on the possible equaliser for Gillingham. And we've got another Champions League side conceding the first goal. So this is what we're facing today, isn't it? Is it a red card for Monaco? Wow. So a real curse of the Champions League today. Just not getting anything. Liverpool, no goal yet to move the market at 0-1. 73rd minute. Don't forget, 89, 90 minutes. Virgil van Dijk off a corner. 1-1. Could this be the second consecutive 1-0 win for Crystal Palace? Yeah, L'Oreal 1-0 up. So we'll just free up a few of these. So I think this evening is going to be a lot better for me. Leeds doing a good job. I don't have an angle. Don't have an angle with the Cherries. Maybe laying the draw, Man City and Burnley. That one's gone astray. So just free up a few of these. Just no goals occurring in matches of my interest, which would be this one here. I'll just change the sound so it will alert. Moving on down. Gillingham are here somewhere. Four minutes to save their unbeaten run this season. Gillingham, can they do it? What has been a quietish coupon. Celtic match as well. Unlikely we're going to see three from them anymore. So those are the matches of interest, and the Atletico Madrid one as well. So it's just that Champions League, it's just blunting confidence, isn't it? Where you'd normally be laying the draw with confidence in Olympiacos matches at 0-0 at half-time. You're just worried. Ordinarily, Monaco will be replying. 3 wins in 4. But I know, not now, they're not. That red card, so we'll say goodbye to that. And there's the Ollie goal, 42nd minute. It's taken them a while for a 1.17 shot. 1.25. So we're just waiting for goals as we come to the end of the session. Another shot off target, another corner for Liverpool. Celtic, well, 82nd minute. This was the same kind of odds that I saw with Shandong yesterday at about this time, and they went on and won quite easily. So just be wary of that. Very, very tight, so late. Still no goals in our major matches of interest. Haven't heard those special dings just yet. St Johnstone, now, do we start seeing a little bit of life from the dominant force in the Scottish Championship? Let's have a look at their goal times. Maybe they're the kind of team who will win with late goals because they should be the dominant team. Let's have a look. So St Johnstone and Queen's Park. Just want to see if there's any late angle. And it's been a very speculative Saturday, hasn't it? Just playing these kind of plays rather than the traditional Grimsby type trade. You're just waiting for the likes of Grimsby to do the business. This one is speculative, but check out the goal. 74th minute, 83rd, and that was a winner. 88th, 83rd, 82nd, 82nd. Queen's Park, 76th, 88th, 79th, 83rd. So 82nd, 83rd minute would be a possible entry point, and we are there now. Oh no, where are we talking about? 83rd minute. Can't remember which match I was talking about. Queen's Park and St Johnstone. 83rd minute. Let's have a look. Queen's Park and St Johnstone. You won't be laying at those odds at all. It's very illiquid. £3 matched only. What a pity. No market forces at all. Still no goals in any of my matches of interest as we're coming to the end of the session. So I'm going to say goodbye to you. 4:45. What have we got left? We've got a possible Liverpool equaliser. Don't forget 89th, 90th minute is your port of call there. Hibernian. Well, Celtic lay that draw. Probably 109, 106 maybe. Look at this. Flattering to deceive. Real Madrid suddenly gone a bit sour. Both of these involved in the Champions League though, so that's not an excuse. It is a local derby, of course. St Johnstone, 84th minute plus is when we normally see the goals flowing for St J and for Queen's Park. I'll be laying that draw a little bit later, and if it gets a little bit more liquid. There we go. That's one of our dings coming in. And 4-2 to Atletico Madrid. Now that could be an angle in. But it is a derby. That's why I don't play derbies, because you get these unexpected results. So the dings aren't coming for me. So I'll say goodbye to you now. 4:45. I'll give you an update on Telegram. Oh, suspended market. So hold on for a sec. Hold on to your hats. And there it is. Look, 84th plus minute. Bang on the button. Just bad luck on my part, isn't it, really? Lack of liquidity in the draw market. You could have got fives about St Johnstone there as well. I will. What's happened? 5-2, did he say? Atletico Madrid 5-2? No. Oh, that is disappointing. Would have been a very nice profit. I'll say good night to you now. 4:45. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll catch up with you on Telegram. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Telegram for probably the next 2 or 3 hours.